Good morning and welcome back to the channel. WWE Access could not have happened this weekend, but it does not mean that we still cannot enjoy as to what we should be expecting this year. We're going to be getting into Elite Series 77, 78, new waves coming into the series, and just a bunch of other stuff to fill in the time and the Figgy love to play with it all. And Fiend, he's ready. He's like, all right, so you want to put me in your hand? You want to do the entrance? You want to come down the rampway with the Firefly Funhouse? Not quite yet, but for the time being, let's get in depth with this one, because anything before this, it was just something drawn up. Now we have the final reveal, the actual figure. He is ready to drop here, hopefully come June. It's not up for pre-order, but as soon as it does, you need to turn on that notification. You need to hit the subscribe button if you are stopping here for the first time, because Fiend, he wants to show you all sides, man. He wants to show you the left, he wants to show you the right, all the tattoos, that damn lantern that is looking so damn clean. Look at the hair, look at the dreadlocks. Where do we go from here? I'll tell you where. Show him the backside, man. Show the tattoos of how he's evolved throughout these last couple of years and how it's being brought together in all its glory. I cannot say enough good things, and how excited I am. I know we did a ranking yesterday as to what we've seen this year, but 2020, once this progresses and goes through it all, once we actually get the stuff in hand, you'll be able to find out of how this figure is going to be the game changer. You really believe that though, bro? I mean, Series 77, I am turning into a believer. These are the last two. Actually, there's one more after this, because the regular one was brought, but I'll show you that in just a sec. I want to show you Viscera and I want to show you Miss Elizabeth, and both being just as important as the other. One, of course, for the Ministry of Darkness, Undertaker. He's looking for the squad. He's looking for all his dudes to come down the rampway and assist him taking out the rest of the jabrones. And as far as Elizabeth goes, like Macho Man, could not be any happier that we got her right here in the bright yellow. Get in between both of them. Let's go. Let's get the Hulkster on the left and Macho on the right, and have her be the centerpiece to bring the calm and peace all together. Last figure I want to show you from Elite Series 77, it's going to be Rick Rude, and you won't be able to distinguish one from the other. It's not up until the time you actually take the robe off. Now, Ziggler, he did carry a very similar look when it comes to this, where we had the IC Championship pre-painted onto his tights. And I do like that, but at the same time, like, if you're not familiar with the attire, it's going to kind of throw it off like, wait, they can't just give me a belt. No, it's the attire, my friends. Before we go any further, I really want to talk about this one. This is something that gives you so many options. Like, it's not going to be one where you just need one. You're gonna need three in all, because you're getting the Edge, so that's the primary figure that they wanted to implement in this. But at the same time, you cannot have Edge without his Edge heads. Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins, those are gonna be the two heads against. This was talked about 2 years back, so the fact that this is coming to fruition, Edge, what do you think? Yes! Getting into Elite Series 78, Matt Riddle wants to come up here. He wants to show you that, hey, if you've been hanging down to my basic for the last few months, just know that you got something a little bit better. A little bit? Let's go ahead and just say several notches up. Apart from all the added articulation that the Elite line gives you, he brought the sandals. He says, if I'm going to be here, part of Elite Series 78, I want to make sure that my feet are warm. I want to make sure that I'm laid back. Look at this head scan. All right, first one was great. I got to say I was a big fan of it, but this man, he just got done past being 420. No, not the month, but the actual time, and he brought the bandana, and something about those sandals, like, we've seen him in the Barbie line, but seeing him being here part with the Mattel figs, hey, I'm back there with you 100%. Naomi wants to give you two different options within this series. You can have this one, which is the one that is being brought here for the very first time. And if you didn't get a chance to pick up that Walgreens exclusive, but Hero Fix, nobody got a chance to pick it up. What do you mean? You mean it was never available? You mean it was talked about having this one out on the shelves with the Feel in the Glow belt? And it is. If you look closely enough at the SmackDown Women's Championship, this is going to glow. As a matter of fact, both of them should have that same effect. You turn off that switch, you flip on the glow, and you'll see that Naomi wants to give you anything but disappointment. And it's hard to do that when you're given options to display your figures in different ways. You can have a younger Graham, you can have an older Graham, but just say money Graham, and I'll have my money ready as soon as you come here to Walmart. Which is going to make it very difficult, because as of right now, as our current status, you just can't hop in the car. You can't drive down the street and say, yo, you guys got any of those store exclusives? It was difficult enough before the apocalypse came along, so So now going out to, like, this is just something that I want to throw out there, Mattel. If you guys want to do exclusives, make them available on site. That way we don't have to put our lives to get these figures in our hands. HeroFix, you're being overly dramatic. Well, if you're a 24/7 champion, you have to be alert. You have to be on your tippy toes at every minute of every second. You plan on retaining the 24/7 championship. And this is a long time coming. I think by the time we finally do get this with Elite Series 78, it's going to be one of those things like, wait, what is the 24/7 championship? I don't see it on TV anymore. And since it is coronavirus season, we're going to start defending this in a different way. Once it comes to my home, first thing I'm doing, we're doing it in the bathroom, in the living room. It's going to happen all across the WHF home, and I ain't going to let anybody tell me different. Drake Maverick will. Not the basic, because the basic was all Mr. Suited Body. He wanted to come down. He wanted to do none but business. But when he got the chance, when he has the opportunity to be part right here in the same series as R-Truth, you're going to have to part these figures far apart from each other. Like, let's say you get your haul from Ringside Collectibles and be like, oh, where's my R-Truth? Oh, he must be behind the box because he wants none of this. Mr. Drakey, I want to say thank you for being here. And also, with the right tire, the tights, the 24/7 glamour of it all, you're seeing it on the side. You're seeing the scan also being brought differently. The hairstyle, the beard, the overall expression. Got to give you 2 huge thumbs up for giving us something different. Like, they could have just reused the exact same from the previous figure, but since it was Elite and since it wasn't an in-ring attire, I think they really wanted to capitalize on this. Now, for the final 2, we have Randy Orton, and I do want to wish him a happy belated birthday. It was yesterday, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and start celebrating today and all the way up until the time that we finally get this figure into our hands. Last one, extremely high in demand. When they got the tattoos corrected, when they had him coming all the way up, the way that every Orton should have came prior, they wanted more. They said, I want him in the red, I want him in the yellow, green, as well as a new skull, because if he is going to be part of the nation or decade of domination, which is going to be a younger version, I think it's just right you give us alternative routes to play with them figgies. The last gentleman right here, Mr. Kofi Kingston, you're bringing a slight tear to my eye. Why, man? You talking about Big E and Xavier Woods not having the matching attire that we saw with the Wrestlemania Kofi Kingston, and we are seeing something different for Kofi. It's gonna clash, man, unless if they plan on still releasing those attires or matching attires for this one. It just, I don't know what it is, man. Like, if we are seeing the SmackDown Championship with this, it's almost a guarantee that the following wave should partake either Kofi or Xavier Woods or Big E. It's just a thought. I love this. I gotta say, I'm a big fan. It's definitely an upgrade from his previous release, that 5-head. It just wasn't sitting right with me. Decade of Domination Series 2, and yes, I did say Series 2. We talked about Series 1. We'll cover that a little bit more in detail. Before I do, I want to talk about Kane. I'm talking about the unmasking. When Kane transitioned from one beast, from an animal, from a monster, into just a regular human. Get out of here. He was still just as ruthless as he was when he had the mask on, and this is what you're getting. When he took it off, we didn't know, man. Everybody was talking about his face being burnt, so it was all like all this makeup going on. That's what we're seeing. The hair partially burnt off. Eventually, he shaved it all off, and that's what you'll be able to alternate. So you can have the one where you can slip on the mask on the original one that's on the figure, and then once you go full blown out, once you don't want to wear that mask or even bother with it, just swap that bald man, call him down, bring him up, and say, Kane, time for a choke slam. Same with Trip, early Trip, Elimination Chamber Trip, Triple H, World Heavyweight title, getting the hammer or getting the long shorts. This is funny because I was literally in the process of making this. I just picked up one of those old Toys R Us exclusives. I was doing the transition. I already started the paint, like the partial black has already been applied. So I don't know if I'm going to go ahead and go fully on board or just wait for this to be put. I think it'll be a little bit of both. I'd like to do a side-by-side comparison when this does come out, because it's one thing that I've learned about the Cerebral Assassin is that everyone seems to do out the other. Yo, I thought you just said Kofi Kingston in the previous series. Yes, that's a current, man. I'm talking about a SmackDown Tag Team Champ. This, we are talking about SOS. We are talking the hype and the energy that he brought. Like when he was an individual, before there was a New Day, there was this man right here. And I'm sure we will eventually see knee pads. That's the biggest thing you're probably picking up on it. Like, why are they painting on the knee pads? You'll see them. This is just an early piece and one that I definitely want to bring to the collection. Second to last is going to be the Glamis. Now, she's already down there. She's doing commentary over at NXT. She also doesn't want to be left out as one of those women that wasn't remembered as being a champion. She was one of the greatest, man. She dominated that ring like no other, and the belt, we already saw with the Trish Stratus, but it's rightfully so that we also see it with her. Last one from the set, and really nothing to write home about. I mean, it is a nice big show. It's cool that we're getting the chair. I like the angry look. I'm really happy that we're getting the power of the punch. It's not Big Show if you don't have that fist, as well as that that angry expression, and that's what will determine of whether or not this is worth a pickup. Legend Series 2 will see the return of Latino Heat. Eddie Guerrero, I really like that red one. The one that they released several years back. That one has always been a high piece that has been centered up top of the shelf. But this right here with the highlight, this kind of brings the whole memory of him versus Rey Mysterio trying to get custody of his son. I'm sure we will get a little bit of backlash from everyone because everyone still wants the red attire. They wanted the re-release of that very first one because when you hop on board, you go on eBay, you're talking about well over $100, and this ain't gonna change that. I mean, I am very glad that we are seeing different, like anybody that has already picked up that figure, that has had it for several years before the markup went up, I'm sure all will attest that this is something that we also needed, part of that Eddie Guerrero timeline. Very important piece. I really like the expression. It's kind of like he just threw the steel chair at his opponent. He called over the referee, he pointed at him, and he ain't doing nothing but lying, cheating, and stealing. There was really nothing stolen, but he did steal the millions. I'm talking about the hearts of anybody that tuned in to see not only Eddie Guerrero, but also Jake the Snake Roberts. Jake the Snake, you're going to have him in the red with the blue, as well as the Snake. Like the Snake, you can't say Jake the Snake and not bring the man his damn animal. So you have him also in the green with the purple. Both of them are good, but at the same time, like I'm kind of surpassed that last, like when we got the last Jake the Snake in that Build-A-Figure, that was the attire that I was looking for, and this is, very reminiscent at the same time, but ultimately, I don't know, man. Jake the Snake was never one of my favorites. As far as the rest, though, we are going to get Paul Orndorff. I mean, this man is pretty boring when it comes to really any look. You can have him in the red. We've had him in the blue. We've also got him in the white, which was the Elite. So I guess bringing him back here, I mean, this is a chance, an opportunity, and I know they're kind of revisiting some of the very first characters that they get with the with the Legends line back in the early Mattel days, but still, man, I would have preferred another one opposed from these two. It's just a thought, man. Personal thoughts aside, still a nice solid figure. One that is very important and very, very high up on the list, it's going to be Ultimate Warrior. We've seen him in young days. I'm talking about when he was raging those ropes up and down, shaking the arena, bringing the electricity, and bringing the unreleased product. Now, this one you actually can pick up. I have seen several of them on eBay for a decent price. I think they were like $80, $90, but it is unreleased and it's not official. Now, guess what? It's official. It's been written. He goes up to the podium. He says, yo, I want to thank all of you that have supported me throughout these years. This is like the last look that we saw of him before he departed. So having him here in plastic form, why not? Legend Series 1 was covered several months back, but we are getting a little extra. They gave us a little bit more just to go ahead and cover as to what exactly you should be expecting once we do get this. Now, Greg the Hammer Valentine, you'll have two options. You'll have this one, which we have seen, but the one that we haven't, of course, the robe, both matching on both. It's when you take it off, it's going to be the yellow. So it's some about him, Greg the Hammer Valentine, and Rick Rude. Like they sat down and said, you might as well wear the exact same thing. I mean, after all, everybody's going to enjoy it, and everybody will like the short hair Sting. The defining moments, he is being brought, not exactly identical to what we saw within that, because the hair, you can see it's a lot shorter, but more of what it comes down to the look of the actual like in-ring attire, as well as the jacket, the Chico, the bad guy, the Razor Ramon. You want to give him the too chill, the relax, the coming out of his car, throwing the toothpick in your face. This is the one that I want out of them all. Well, him as well as Bobby the Brain Heenan, and not just like in the suit, because that's all we've seen him in. We saw him in the black jacket with the Toys R Us exclusive, but once you do take off that white fabric, that's what you get, man. You're getting down and dirty with Bobby the Brain Heenan. Decade of Domination Series 1, I'm not going to get full-blown out because, again, these ones have already been shown, but as you can see, we're getting accessories with young Randy. We're getting shorter hair as well as the longer hair, and if your shoulder does to get a little bit banged up after getting run through Evolution, that occurred later on, Hero Fix. Let's talk about younger. Let's talk about the beginning, because this Orton, this is exactly what the timeline all required to get Orton, to get the RKO presented properly. As far as the rest, we're getting Mark Henry with the Nation of Domination. They are bringing the weights back into it. John Cena has had it. I believe also Big E prior to the New Day figures. The Undertaker, the one that was the entrance greats, with the actual robe, the tie, all that being released within this. But the sculpt and the scan, you're going to see a little bit of a difference. It's going to be Natalia that's going to be standing out from this, because all the other ones, yes, the Randy Orton, I love it. That's actually, these two are going to be battling. Side by, like, I'm going to have to put Natty on one end and I'm going to put Orton on the other, because when I do like the whole comparison and do the ranking of the series, it's going to be a toss-up, not just between those two, but also the master of thugonomics and Hero Fakes. He did wear a hat like that. Matter of fact, everybody was wearing this kind of hat. It was the cool thing. Like, if you didn't wear this hat, it was almost like you were an outcast. So even though he might be the one that might be looking like the outcast from this series, this is nothing but pure greatness. I love the bright green shirt. Both John Cena's, this one, as well as that upcoming Ultimate Edition, both really nice pieces to the Army. For the upcoming Elite 2-pack, we have China, and I knew that leaked image, man. I knew that was exactly what we were expecting. Minus the belts. I mean, they had the wrong belts in there. Now we're seeing that she will be coming with the WWE Championship, as well as Triple H. You got Mr. Fancy Laddie Daddy with his robe. He was, man. He needed to be brought down with a nice red carpet. If he didn't, he wouldn't be happy. I want to tell you something, man. Leah Ripley, what's going on, dude? Why are you just being here? And this is early. Just keep in mind, like, nothing about this is painted. We'll be getting a little bit more once the actual images of the final figure does come through. But so far, I'm gonna tell you this NXT figure, I wanted this, as well as this 5-pack. Ringside Collectibles playing April Fool's jokes on us yesterday. They said this is the upcoming playset that will be exclusive to Ringside. None of that is true, man. They're just trying to liven up your spirits. They do this at least once a year. Some people fall for it. Sometimes it actually does come to fruition. You guys remember the Hemp Championship? It's not too far-fetched. It's just an early prediction by Ringside Collectibles. Matter of fact, they always got the insight on not just that, but also Hollywood. Wait, Hero Fix, we almost got it. We almost had something to what it was actually going to be put onto the shelves, and it was that. But once they had a chance to revamp it, Mattel, they turned it up, man. They said, we're not just going to give them one head scan. Sure, we'll give them the screaming look. We'll give them the angry look for having to wait this long. But now that we have the technology, we're going to go all out. Give me your thoughts. I want to hear what you guys thought of these reveals. I do think there were some that were definitely a must, but at the same time, there was those others where it was like, dude, I mean, you could have gone with this, you could have gone with that. At the end of the day, I'm glad we're still getting content, because as of right now, my friends, the fact that we have this showing right now, even though Access was canceled, hey, we can all attest that this is exactly what we need. I want to thank you guys for watching. Be sure to hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and we'll see you on the next one.